Today, we're gonna get away from the classics and dip our toes into the warm summer waters of craft cocktails. We're gonna get a little more technical, a little more scientific with our creations here, and I'm gonna show you a cool mocktail version for all you out there trying to abstain from alcohol, but still wanna join in on the fun. Now, much like baking, the perfect cocktail is all about precision and execution, from every step from the prep work all the way down to the pour. So this cocktail will be a little more time consuming on the front end, but once we have all the pieces in place, we'll be ready to rip. Now, if you've ever had a drink at a craft cocktail bar, you may have noticed the funny and unusual names for the menu. You may have also noticed that there's a theme across the names of the menu. Having a good theme and entertaining names is something people in the craft cocktail game take pride in and enjoy. And coming up with them is a fun process. So over these next few summer months, you may notice a theme here as I pulled these cocktails from a summer menu I created. And the theme for this summer cocktail menu is from my all-time favorite TV show, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And it might be my most favorite theme I've done for any menu. And for all you Always Sunny fans out there, I hope you get a kick out of these names. So without further ado, our first summer cocktail, the Dennis is a Bastard Man. Now, much like the character of Dennis Reynolds, this cocktail is packed full of flavor and surprises you may not expect. But while Dennis may be a mentally unbalanced character, this cocktail is balanced in every sense of the word. So the build for this cocktail is 1.5 ounces of house-infused Cantaloupe Vodka, 3/4 ounces of lemon juice, a 1/2 ounce Honeydew Thyme Syrup, a 1/4 ounce Maraschino Liqueur, a 1/4 ounce Blanc Vermouth, a 1/4 ounce of olive juice. It's shaken, it's served up, and it's topped with a 50-50 blend of soda water and tonic water. And we're gonna garnish with a little bit of thyme, some olives, and some melon balls. So the build for the mocktail version is 2 ounces of vanilla bean tea, 1 ounce honeydew thyme syrup, 1 ounce lemon juice. That's shaken, that's double strained, that's served up, and that's also topped with a 50-50 blend of soda water and tonic water. And we're also gonna garnish that with a little bit of thyme and some melon balls. Now, all that being said, it's time to get into the prep work. So the tools you need for the prep work. You're gonna need a cutting board, you're gonna need a knife, you're gonna need a kitchen scale, you're gonna need a measuring cup, you're gonna need a large sealable container, preferably glass, like a mason jar. You're gonna need a citrus juicer. You're gonna need a pot. You're gonna need a bar spoon or something to stir with. You're also gonna need a mesh basket strainer. And if you wanna make some cool garnishes, you're gonna need a melon baller. So, where to start with your prep work? If you're only making the mocktails, you can go ahead and jump ahead to the honeydew syrup section. Or you can feel free to hang out and learn about alcohol infusions with those of us that are making the cocktail. So, my cocktail people, do you go out and buy your Cantaloupe Vodka at the store? Fuck no. And I don't even know if anyone makes that. If they do, it's probably way too sweet with added sugars and shit and everything added in. And anyone that would buy that and use that in a cocktail is a savage and an idiot. A savage and an idiot. So we're just gonna make it ourselves using real melons. Idiots! Idiots! So for the infusion, there are many ways to infuse flavors into alcohols. You can sous vide something. You can use ISIs and CO2 to do a rapid infusion. But here, we're just gonna soak some thinly sliced cantaloupe melon into our vodka for 24 hours. I find with softer and more porous fruits, this is the best way to infuse a ton of flavor into alcohol. And when we do this, we want to work with the best products we possibly can. That's why we work seasonally. So we always get the fruit at the best time of year for the most flavor. And summer is the perfect season for nice, sweet melons. This cocktail is a melon bomb. So getting the process started, let's grab our cutting board, let's grab our knife, and we're gonna grab our honeydew melon. And mine's already cut in half because I went and infused a half batch of my vodka last night, so it's ready today to make some cocktails, but I'm gonna go ahead and infuse the second half of my batch here to go through the process with you. So simply start by grabbing a spoon, and we're gonna scoop the seeds and the pulp out of the melon here. Super easy, just run your spoon around. We got our melon all scraped out. You see it all hollowed out there. We're gonna place it down on our cutting board, and we're just gonna slice about 1 inch thick slices in the melon, all the way down. And what we wanna do is cut the meat out of the melon. So I'm gonna cut this in half, and you can see, I'm just gonna run my knife right there to cut that rind off. You want to make sure you keep the orange, you don't keep the green on there because that's going to be bitter. So same process. Now for these bigger chunks here, I'm going to cut them in 4 long sections. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut that peel right off. All right, so we got our melon cut up. Let's go ahead and grab a container, grab your scale, and we want to weigh out 625 grams of our cantaloupe. Now, once you have your melon weighed out to the 625 grams, we're gonna go ahead and now we're gonna slice it real thin. So grab another container and you want them sliced really thin. And the reason why is because you want the most amount of surface contact between the alcohol and the product you're infusing to get the most amount of flavor. So you're gonna take all these pieces, cut them up real thin. I just didn't start putting these in the glass container I'm gonna store in or infuse in. Let's do that now. All right, got all our cantaloupe cut up. Next thing we're gonna do, grab our measuring cup, grab our vodka. Use your favorite vodka, guys. Try to go with local stuff if you can. Always the best way to go. And we're looking for 750 milliliters. Pour that in. Seal it up. You wanna give it a good shake. Now store that in a cool, dry place on your kitchen counter somewhere, out of the sun for 24 hours. Like I said, I went ahead and did half my batch last night, so I had it ready for making cocktails today. So once it's been 24 hours, pop that lid. It smells fantastic. Grab the container, grab a mesh basket strainer, and we are gonna pour our vodka through the strainer. We have our Cantaloupe Vodka, grab some blue tape, and label and date. Have a lid. There you have it, guys. Cantaloupe Vodka. Shelf life on that is up to 2 months refrigerated. So while your infusing process is going on, what are we gonna do? Just sit there and wait? No, you have to seize the gap. Seize the gap! Oh, seize the gap, you old fat bitch! Seize the gap, you fat bitch. We're gonna make our Honeydew Thyme Syrup. I love the mix of herbs and fruit. That little bit of savory, sweet mix. The pairing of honeydew and thyme is just such a fantastic one. So to make this syrup, we need to start with honeydew juice. Now, I don't know if you can go buy honeydew juice anywhere. I think the best way to go about it, juice it yourself. So let's grab our cutting board, grab our knife, place our honeydew on the cutting board, and we are gonna cut it in half. You have a beautiful honeydew melon. So just like before, we've got to scoop the goods out. Now, before I go cutting into this melon, I want to ball a few pieces of the honeydew for our garnish. I meant to do that on the cantaloupe, I forgot. So if you have a melon baller at home, all you got to do is scoop it in there and just move it around. Yeah, I'm just gonna get like 4 of those for now, but depending on how many cocktails you're gonna make, get as many as you need. All right, so we'll set these aside for garnish. Now, just like we did before, I'm gonna place my melon upright and I'm gonna cut 1 inch thick, roughly, pieces and a piece in half, and we're gonna cut the meat right out of the melon. With this one, we don't have to cut thin slices. We're just gonna be juicing the melon. So we just need small enough chunks to fit into our juicer. Remind me, I need to get a bigger cutting board when dealing with melon. I'm using this baby size cutting board. Doesn't all fit. Set those there on the other melon. Big, juicy pile of melon. All right, we got our honeydew cut. Let's go ahead, set up our juicer. So what we're looking for is 250 grams of honeydew juice. So I'm gonna juice half the melon here. If I need more, I'll cut more. But for now, I'm just gonna juice this half. I'm gonna turn on our juicer. We are just gonna jam these pieces down. And don't be afraid to get in there, guys. Use your bare hands, just make sure they're clean. Gloves are okay too, but if you wear gloves, change your gloves. Don't keep them on all day. Itch your fucking ass, itch your mustache and shit. Make sure your hands are clean. Ugh. Dropping melon pieces. Now what we need to do next, guys, we gotta weigh out our honeydew melon juice. So place a container on your scale, zero out that scale. Again, we're looking for 250 grams. All right, let's go ahead and pour that into the pot. Let's grab another container, place it on the scale, zero out the scale, and you're gonna weigh out 250 grams of sugar. 250 grams of sugar, into the pot. And the last thing we need, grab our thyme. So good. You need about 5 sprigs of thyme, 5 bulky sprigs. Throw that into the pot. Get your pot going. You want to heat it to a nice medium high. Give it a stir. And we're going to continue to bring that to essentially a boil until all the sugar dissolves. And we're going to let that thyme infuse into our syrup. All right, now keep in mind, guys, this will make about a ½ liter of syrup. So this will yield roughly 28 Dennis is a Bastard cocktails, or roughly 15 or 16 of the mocktail version. All right, we're bringing this up to heat. It's starting to smell so good. You're getting the fragrance of that thyme coming off the pot. Now, while we're waiting for the Honeydew Thyme Syrup to come to a boil, let's go ahead and cut our lemons for our lemon juice. Cut them in half like always. And I always like to cut all my fruit and juice all my fruit just for a quicker process. And once those are all cut, grab a container, grab your citrus juicer. You're gonna place the lemon rind side up. Just give it a squeeze. Before I keep squeezing, I'm noticing my syrup's coming to a boil. Give it one last stir. I'm gonna turn it off the heat, and then we're just gonna let that cool with the thyme still in there so the thyme really infuses into the syrup, and then we'll go about straining it. All right, we got our lemons juiced. Let's grab another container. Let's grab a basket strainer, and we're gonna double strain our citrus as always. Pour it through once, get all that pulp out of there, and pour it through a second time. Grab a lid, have some blue tape to label and date. And as always, the shelf life on your lemon juice, good for 2 days. Throw it out on the 3rd day. So it looks like our Honeydew Thyme Syrup has cooled enough. Grab a storage container, grab another mesh sieve. We are just gonna pour that, strain out the thyme. Once again, grab a lid, and you're gonna label and date. All right, now once labeled and dated, we can store it for up to 2 weeks refrigerated. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, it's syrup. Can it last for like a long time, forever? Of course not. It'll get funky. It'll get a weird consistency, and you haven't thought of the smell, you bitch. One last thing we're gonna need for prep, guys, for our mocktail people is you need to make a batch of that vanilla bean tea. I'm not gonna go through it with you and show you how to do it. It's making tea. I think it's pretty easy. Get about 1 liter of water, heat it up, throw 2 bags of vanilla bean tea in there, let it soak for maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, pull the tea bags out, and you're ready to rip. Again, label and date as always. All right, guys, we got all our prep done. Let's get making some cocktails. I went ahead and put my Honeydew Thyme Syrup and my lemon juice in these cheater bottles here to make it easy, as well as my vanilla bean tea for my mocktail people. And I also went ahead and put my Cantaloupe Vodka back into the bottle of vodka that I had, just for ease of use. Make sure you label and date that as well if you do that. All right, so to start, gonna need our shaker tins. Gonna need our glassware. We're also gonna need our jigger. Now, as always, guys, we always work cheapest ingredients to most expensive ingredients. That way, if we screw up, we don't waste the good stuff, hopefully. So today we're gonna start on the left side of your screen. In this shaker tin, I'm gonna have my Dennis is a Bastard Man cocktail. And on the right side of the screen, in this shaker tin, I'm gonna have my mocktail. So my Dennis is a Bastard cocktail, we're gonna start with our 3/4 ounce lemon juice. And in my mocktail, 1 ounce lemon juice. In my cocktail, a 1/2 ounce of my Honeydew Thyme Syrup. And in my mocktail, 1 whole ounce of our Honeydew Thyme Syrup. Now for my mocktail, we're also gonna do the 2 ounces of our vanilla bean tea. That's filled all the way to the brim on the large side of the jigger. For my cocktail, we're gonna need 1/4 ounce of Blanc Vermouth. And in my cocktail, we also need 1/4 ounce of my Maraschino Liqueur. Also in my cocktail, we're gonna need 1/4 ounce of olive juice. I like to use the Castle Trinova olives. All right, so I know the olive juice sounds weird in this context, but I promise that brininess is gonna pair so beautifully with the thyme, the sweetness of the melon. I kind of got inspiration for this idea off the pairing of prosciutto and melon that the Italians do, and I love it. Lastly in my cocktail, 1.5 ounces of that Cantaloupe Vodka. Next, let's grab the large side of our shaker. We're gonna ice both our tins and our glassware. Always make sure we fill the short side of the shaker all the way to the top with ice. All right, seal up our shakers. And shake for 12 seconds as always. seconds. Crack your shaker. We're gonna start by straining our mocktail. Then we strain our cocktail. Always double strain our shaken cocktails. Have some soda and some tonic, make sure they don't pour everywhere. We're gonna go a little 50-50 blend of both soda and tonic water. The reason I do that is I just like to balance a little bit extra sweetness in the tonic water. Grab a bar spoon, let's agitate the cocktails a little bit. And for garnish, for our cocktail, we're gonna go an olive and a melon ball. For our mocktail, we'll go with 2 melon balls. And lastly, we're gonna have a couple sprigs of thyme. Give it a smack to release the oils. Place those right down in there, right down in there. Nice and pretty. And there you have it, guys, the Dennis is a Bastard cocktail and the beautiful mocktail version. Let's taste it. All right, so I haven't had this cocktail in a while. I'm actually really excited. It smells great. You get the thyme on the nose. Man, super refreshing. Nice sweetness from the melon. That maraschino cherry pairs so nicely. You get the honeydew, the cantaloupe, the thyme. The brininess from the olive just gives it a little bit of that salinity you're looking for. So crushable, so fantastic for summer. Let's try the mocktail version. Same thing, get that thyme on the nose. Super bright. The pairing of the melon, the thyme, the vanilla. You really can't go wrong. Yeah, I want to drink these all day. Let's get these out of there. The melon, the olive, really a great pairing. Salinity, it's a really tasty cocktail. All right, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the recipes we made today. Maybe you made them along with me, maybe you're writing them down for a later time. Either way, let me know how you're liking the recipes. And guys, become a regular somewhere. Become a regular at your local watering hole. It's the best way to support local business. And become a regular here at Happiness Bar by liking, commenting, subscribing. Hit that bell if you want notifications. We got cocktail videos coming out every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern to get you ready for the weekend. Stay happy, everyone.